Do you ever magnify a situation and how it impacted you so others will take you seriously? In this video, you'll learn why exaggerating your feelings is actually a valid form of self protection when you're a highly sensitive person. It's Friday afternoon, and all you can think about is getting into your comfy clothes and relaxing on the couch for the rest of the weekend. Then you get a text from a pushy family member or friend asking if you're available to get together because they really, really need to talk to you about something. So you could respond honestly, letting them know, I'm looking forward to some relaxation time. I need to decline, knowing that they might question you or push back on this boundary. So another option is exaggerate how you're feeling so they take your needs more seriously, saying you had a really stressful week and you just feel too exhausted to do anything at all tonight or this weekend. So you could abandon yourself, as Terry Cole would say, a boundaries expert, or you could scrap your self care plans and show up for this person last minute. Which are you going to choose? So declining the invitation in any form, it may bring up feelings of guilt, since technically you could connect since you don't have any other plans outside of the house. So this is a trap I often get stuck in. I've argued myself out of many boundaries. Um, it's not that I'm consciously thinking my needs are less important, but that's essentially the message I send to myself when I've put myself aside again and again and again. So, being a part of a family with a lot of very social extroverts who just don't understand the need for solitude, I've received a lot of pushback over the years. I've had to practice really standing firm in my boundaries. Because if being straightforward risks stirring up conflict or hurting the other person's feelings, there are times that you may feel safer just saying no with an excuse, giving some compelling reason to justify your need to the other person. So, this is not a practice I use often, but it's often necessary. It's sometimes necessary. So, when someone isn't highly sensitive, they don't understand that deep need for solitude, for quiet at the end of the week, because they need so little processing time, especially if they're a non-HSP extrovert. They need a lot of connection, so they don't understand. So saying no honestly or without reason, it becomes even more difficult if someone lacks empathy or they tend to push back to get their way. So how can you get your needs met without resistance or an argument when this is the case? A common strategy for HSPs is to amplify what you're feeling, to escalate the severity of your needs so you can be understood. So imagine that someone said something to you with a slightly critical tone. You notice a subtle change in their voice. You feel hurt for a while, right? As you process the experience and you make sense of what happened. So when someone asks you, why are you upset? Instead of referencing the critical tone, you say that someone said something hurtful. This isn't completely accurate, but it may be what allows them to understand, accept your mood, step into your world. They can relate to being criticized. They probably can't relate to feeling hurt by a subtle tone of voice, as we HSPs pick up on. So exaggerating, just a bit, is a form of self-protection because it may save you from hearing, it's no big deal, you're too sensitive, right? All those things we've heard, those dismissive, invalidating phrases that we've heard all of our lives as HSPs when someone didn't understand our experience. So you may even be using this self-protective strategy without realizing it because it's the only way you were able to be heard early in life and it is stuck. Highly sensitive folks often have their experiences dismissed because others don't feel the same way. They don't notice the little details. They aren't having the same strong, intuitive gut feeling, and they don't need as much recharge or even processing time. So many parts of your experience as an HSP have probably been misunderstood at some point, and it can be difficult to put your thoughts and feelings into words so that others can understand. So the practice of exaggerating or amplifying, it may feel deceptive, but what you're really doing is translating your experience for folks who aren't highly sensitive. You're making the subtle more obvious for them in an attempt to be understood and accepted and invite them into your world. So ideally, you'll get to a place where you can be respected at face value without needing to explain or justify your needs, where you say exactly what you need and feel with full acceptance and without question, at least most of the time. But this is a longer process of accepting your own sensitivity, believing that your needs are equally valuable, and surrounding yourself with people who are supportive. So even then, you may still have family members, coworkers, or even acquaintances who need you to translate for them, or you may need to emotionally protect yourself from. So as you go through this self-acceptance process, notice if there are people in your life who you feel comfortable being transparent with, and that you can practice not exaggerating when expressing your feelings and your needs. So, to reference the examples I gave earlier, that could sound like, I was really, really looking forward to recharging by myself tonight after work. Would you be available to connect next week instead? It could also sound something like, someone at work used a critical tone with me today, and now I'm feeling really worried about what it might mean. Do you have any space to talk it through with me? So, those are just a few examples. So, what other ways could you be more open about your sensitive experiences? And is there anyone in your life you feel safe to practice having an open dialogue with? I'd love to know, and feel free to share your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you need a little extra support in creating a more HSP friendly lifestyle, understanding your sensitivity, feel free to check out my monthly sensitive session workshop series in the description down below, and you'll also find some other HSP resources. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.